Hey guys, welcome back to my channel today. In today's video, I'm going to be sharing with you guys my Sephora VIB sale recommendations. I always love doing this type of video because I love sharing with you guys the things that are actually worth buying, especially during a sale time. It's always nice to take advantage of the sale pricing. I know for Rouge, it's going to be 20%. For VIB, it's going to be 15%. And for Beauty Insiders, it's going to be 10%. Now, I will say as well, this is also a message that I always kind of push on my channel. A little bit of a disclaimer as well before watching my video on the recommendations. And that is that I've been a little bit more cautious of the items I'm bringing into my makeup collection recently. I'm trying not to add to clutter, and I'm instead making very purposeful decisions on makeup, and I'm kind of thinking a little bit more about the items I'm buying, if I'm going to actually be using them, or if they're just going to kind of sit and gather dust. Take advantage of the sale in the way that will help benefit you the most, and also make sure that you are going to be thinking about your purchases so you don't make any regrets on buying too much. Anyways, without further ado, let's get on to my recommendations for the sale. These are all items I think that are worth considering if you feel like you have a need for these in your collection. So let's go take a look at what I think are worth it for this upcoming sale. So the first item I have that I do think is one that has slipped under the radar for, I feel like, a lot of people. I haven't seen anybody really talk about this on their channel, and that is the Marc Jacobs holiday palette this year. Now, this is one of his iconic multi-finish palettes. He has quite a few of these in his permanent collection, and he often kind of releases limited edition palettes of the same exact quality, which I really, really like. There's a lot of brands that skimp on holiday releases and they make kind of poor quality products just to push something out for holiday, but this is not something that I've seen from Marc Jacobs, so I really, really like that. And this palette is absolutely stunning. It is a cool toned palette with some gorgeous shades. I do think that this is something that we haven't seen too much of in the last little while. I mean, there are things, of course, that, there's shades that we see all the time, and I feel like at this point in life, every shade has been done, if I'm gonna be honest. But I haven't seen a shadow palette like this being released in quite a while. So I do applaud them for doing that. This is something that I think is gorgeous, and this is the palette I'm wearing today on my eyes. I do think that this quality is very consistent for his iconic palettes, so if you do have any experience with them, you will not be disappointed with this one. The mattes are gorgeous. They apply beautifully and smoothly, and they do build up really well as well. I will say you do have to use a denser brush with the glitters, otherwise you will get some fallout, and that is normal for his products as well. But this is so pretty. Now, the next palette I have to share with you guys is one that I think has been a gorgeous release from Natasha Denona. Now, this is one too that I think the price point is really, really good, and that is her mini gold palette. Now, this is one, you guys, that has really, really surprised me too. Actually, I was going to skip on this palette entirely until you guys told me that I should really check it out because it's so bomb. And the reality is, it is so bomb. The shades are gorgeous. The mattes are gorgeous. This matte green I do not have anything like, which I'm really, really happy about because I did add it to my collection, and I was thinking, are there shades that are going to be similar? But with the fact, like, this base shade is kind of similar to maybe some other things, but this is fairly unique as a whole, which I do appreciate, and the price point is great. So if you're thinking about adding a Natasha Denona to your collection, especially something smaller, more compact, something unique as well, this is also an option. Now, I can't talk about Natasha Denona without mentioning her Metropolis palette, and this is one that I had a little bit of a journey with myself. The first time I ordered this, I had a palette that was extremely broken. I believe there was at least 8 shades that were broken because Sephora had packaged it very poorly, and ever since I got a replacement, and they have been packaging it better because the shadows are so soft, they do often break in transit. So something to keep in mind. Sephora's return policy is always really good, but this is one that I did have to get a whole new palette for, so mine looks really, really clean and crisp and basically brand new because I did a lot of testing on the broken palette until I got my replacement. But this is also a palette that I think is a really nice option for the sale because the price point is higher. You do get 20% off if you're Rouge, 10% if you're Beauty Insider, 15% if you're VIB. So it is something, but it's not a heck of a ton off either, so just keep that in mind. So if this is a palette that you have your eye on, then great, you can kind of utilize the discount. But if it's not something that you're interested in, like, don't force yourself to buy anything that you don't need. Like, the sale is not a time to just go crazy with things that you don't need. Like if you have your eye on something and you're going to be utilizing it, I just think it's a great idea to do it that way instead of having some regrets. So I do think that this is still a steep price point, but this is considered her midi kind of size for pans. So it's a great quality palette. Is it versatile? Yes. Is there a lot of shades? Yes. I do think that this one, this one here and this one are very similar. So she does have a couple shades that I wish she would have expanded on the versatility with, if I'm gonna be totally honest. But do I think this is a great purchase? Yes, I do. I do think that it's going to be worth the money. I do think this is a great option price point wise, from the minis to like she has some massive palettes that are in the hundreds of dollars. I think this is one that's still pricey, but you get quite a bit of bang for your buck with all of the finishes that you have in here and the variety of shades. So this is definitely something to consider too, if you've been having your eye on it, of course. Now I know that a lot of you guys do expect me to talk about newer items in makeup, but I know a lot of you guys also like to see some of the classics. And I know for me, if I'm being totally honest with you, I do use both. I don't always use new, I don't always use old. So I do like to bring some of the classics into my recommendations because these are amazing. And I do have two kind of classics that I'm going to talk about in my recommendations this year. Both of them come from Charlotte Tilbury, and the first one is actually the Bronze and Glow. And this is one that I have rediscovered recently that I've just been absolutely loving. I did take this one to Europe with me and it really traveled well, I must say. And I'm just going to show you the inside of this guy. This is actually my second one of this one. I have repurchased it, and this one has now been in my collection for a couple of months already, but this is definitely a holy grail item. I think that the bronzer is stunning. It's glowy. It kind of reminds me of a light diffused bronzer, and you can just build it up to make it look really nice and natural. And the highlight as well. This one is kind of awkward to hold up without blinding you. There we go. The highlight is also super pretty in this duo. It's something that I think is probably up there in some of the best Charlotte Tilbury products that she has. And the good thing about this release this year is that she has a limited edition version of this palette that I think if you're getting it for the first time, definitely splurge on it because the packaging is gorgeous. It has Swarovski crystals on it. I'm going to put in a picture of it here on the video, but it's beautiful. So if you haven't taken a look at this palette, you should definitely consider. She's got some limited edition packaging with it. This is a gorgeous one, you guys. Love it so much. I think it's very versatile, beginner friendly, definitely a classic and one I'll always recommend. Now, one other classic product that I'll always recommend is the Charlotte Tilbury Matte Revolution lipsticks. This is one of them here, and this is probably her most famous one, which is Pillowtalk. Now, you guys are gonna laugh because when I was in Europe, I basically made friends with the locals and other people that were in like certain excursions with us. And I asked people one of two questions. One is, do you like Charlotte Tilbury makeup? And have you heard of Pillowtalk? That's the first one. The second one is, do you watch Friends? Two of those questions, I literally made friends like the entire time we were in Paris and Italy and all over the place. If someone recognized Friends, we were instant friends, like the Friends TV show. And if they also recognized Pillowtalk, we were also friends. So it was kind of cool. This is definitely a worldwide sensation. For that reason, so many people know about Pillowtalk, and I think it's a classic. It is the lipstick I'm wearing today too. So long wearing, so easy to use, to wear. This isn't a super matte kind of lipstick where it's just really gritty or drying. It's just got that little bit of a creaminess to it that just makes it so wearable, so nice, easy to use. And if you're not really a matte person, I think you can still pull off this kind of style because it's not like super matte, you know? Now the next lipstick I want to mention is the Natasha Denona I Need a Nude lipstick, and this is also a close second with the lipsticks I've been wearing recently. This isn't super brand new, but it's still fairly new. The shade that I have is in Jennifer. This is the one that I'm gonna show you guys. I'm actually going to swatch both Pillowtalk and I Need a Nude together so you can kind of see. Pillowtalk is definitely a little bit different than this one, but we just want to show you a little bit. So Pillowtalk is on the left and Jennifer is on the right. They do have some similarities, but Jennifer is much more pink. Pillowtalk has a little bit of a purpleness to it, just a tad. So they are different, but they both are classic colors, which I really like. The range of nudes that Natasha came up with, I think, is gorgeous. Jennifer is the shade that kind of drew me in, and it's been a great one. It's very wearable as well. I do think that the formula formula is a little bit similar to the Matte Revolution. So if you're interested in that kind of formula, it's close. This one definitely has more creaminess to it though. It's not as matte, but it still has the same kind of wearability, longevity, you know, pigmentation, things like that. This is also a great option for the VIB sale, so check out those nude lipsticks because they are beautiful. I do have 2 more items to talk about, and the first one is a makeup item, the second one is actually a hair item. So we will finish off the makeup stuff with this one. This is the Hourglass Ghost Face Palette. Now they do have a whole collection of ghost stuff. They have a quad of blushes, they have this palette here, which is beautiful. I love it. Again, the consistency of formula is great. This one comes with a bronzer, 2 blushes. We have a highlight, some setting powders. It is a lovely palette for sure. And I would say that if I'm being nitpicky, I wish the packaging was a little bit different, but a couple of you guys did mention that they used a different type of packaging that I think might be better for the environment. So if that's true, that's definitely a good thing. But I thought that this palette was gonna be like silver through and through. It was gonna like have maybe a silver backing and things like that. That's something that I wish it had, but now when I think about it, and I think like if they were doing kind of environmentally cautious packaging, then I think they made a better choice. But this is a lovely one too, you guys, a great option. I know a lot of you guys seem to wait for the sale for these particular palettes, and a lot of you guys ask me questions on if you had to pick between either of them, because you can't pick both, let's say, and you're thinking about the blush quad or this, out of the 2 of them, I would pick this just because you have some more variety with types of products that you're getting. But the blush quad is still stunning. It's just that picking between the 2 of them, again, if you're a blush lover, that would probably be your best bet, but there is still 2 blushes in this face palette. So this is the one that I'd probably recommend over the 2. And they do have 2 lipsticks as well, which is also a nice option to consider, but out of the whole collection, I would say that this is definitely the one to take a look at if you're interested. Now, the last thing I have is something that I did haul a couple of videos ago. I did treat myself to this, and this I think has finally arrived at Sephora Canada as well. If you guys haven't been around my channel before, you may or may not know that I'm Canadian, so I always like to make sure that we have products available on both sites because I have Canadian viewers and I don't like telling them that something is not there. It's so frustrating. So this, I believe, has finally arrived at Sephora Canada, and this is the Olaplex hair set. Now, I'm an Olaplex lover. Everything I've tried from them has been amazing. This comes with the shampoo. Let me see. Okay. Comes with the shampoo, the conditioner, the bond smoother, and the pre-shampoo treatment. I've tried the pre-shampoo treatment, I've tried the bond smoother, love those, but I hadn't tried their shampoo and conditioner yet, so I decided to get this. This is a good option for someone that loves Olaplex or loves hair products. This is something I think would be worth checking out during the sale because I think it's a cute little set, and like I said in my haul video, this is probably one of the most impressive holiday kind of packages I've seen. So that's good. You can kind of get a whole variety of the Olaplex bestsellers, and they're all full size, so that's also great. What do you guys think of these recommendations? What do you recommend for me to check out? Leave me a comment down below. I would love to know all of your recommendations and your thoughts because I always seem to get some great products from your recommendations too. So definitely let me know your thoughts. I will have all of the information on the VIB sale, the dates, and the percentages off and things like that for every tier in the description box. So definitely take a look at that. And until my next video, guys, take care. Thanks so much for watching. Bye, guys.
You and me, everything that we've been through has made us strong. You won't believe we've had our gray, but somewhere there's a light inside of us.